This woman's house is really weird. No one touches the Buddha statue. Yet every night it actually rotates on its own. The man thinks this is a bad omen, but no one pays attention. Suddenly a scream comes from inside the house. When Conan arrives at the scene, a man is kneeling and lying on the ground with a knife stuck in the back of his neck. The police soon arrive at the scene, since the deceased still has body temperature. The time of death is probably a few minutes earlier. At this point, Conan notices traces of movement under the table, and there are cracks on the floor, plus a small piece of tape on the chandelier. Muri deduces that the deceased was killed by some kind of mechanism. However, at the time of the incident, everyone is having dinner with the Muri family. Only the deceased leaves halfway, so the others have no time to commit the crime. When everyone is stuck, Conan finds a wild raccoon dog outside the house. He also learns that the hostess has the habit of feeding the raccoon dogs at a fixed time every day. At this moment, the automatic striking bell suddenly rings. Conan seems to understand something, so he runs to the bamboo forest where the raccoon dogs are, and finds half a ham tied with a thin string there. He informs Muri of this discovery. Then Muri immediately starts reasoning. The murderer doesn't need to go to the scene to kill. He just needs to thread a thin string through the striking bell and pull it into the room. After the dagger is fixed to the chandelier with tape, tie the dagger with the thin string. Then just wait for the striking bell to ring automatically. The wooden stake will pull the string, causing the dagger to fall. Then just wait for the raccoon dog to carry away the ham, and the murder weapon will disappear as a result, and only the deceased student can enter that room freely. Unexpectedly, this guy immediately begins to confess. It turns out he only intended to intimidate the deceased, because the latter stopped him from pursuing love. But Conan immediately realizes something is wrong. He asks the police to replicate the crime process again, but the dagger can't accurately hit the back of the deceased's neck. Then Conan checks the body again, and finds traces of rice noodles beside the table. So he anesthetizes Muri as usual, and begins to tell the truth. The mechanism was indeed set up by the deceased student, but that isn't the real cause of death. The murderer should be the hostess. When she saw the dagger had missed, she picked it up and committed the crime. The rice noodles beside the body are evidence, because only she had eaten rice noodles for dinner. Seeing the irrefutable evidence, the hostess also tells the truth. It turns out the deceased often imposed his opinions on his family during his lifetime. He even treated his family like slaves and controlled them. So the hostess finally snapped and killed him. And the unexplained rotation of the Buddha statue was simply because the sound of the waterfall falling in the back mountain was too loud, causing the Buddha statue to vibrate slightly.